So, welcome to All Powers from Within. My name is Ishwar. I help people expand their consciousness and accomplish any goal beyond their wildest dreams. Now, in this video, I want to just add a technique that can possibly turbocharge all your manifestation, all your visualizations. If you are able to first you need to know how to apply, and you should have a fair bit of practice, say a couple of weeks or maybe even a month. The longer the better. You need to have a little bit of practice in the mirror technique. If you are familiar with the Law of Attraction school of especially Neville Goddard, who goes even who considers imagination to be like a major building block. In fact, he even goes so far as to say that human imagination is God. Okay, that's a bold claim, but he shows how awareness is constant. It is, it's never ending. It's one thing that goes on throughout. It's kind of pervades throughout the universe, and I highly recommend you check out his books and speeches. Although some of them, they are the ones on YouTube, because the audio quality being recorded so long ago, it gets a little tricky. So the point is, you want to get into, first you should be familiar with the mirror technique. Now what this does is, it's the mirror technique done in a systematic way, especially before you go to bed and as you wake up. It's very, very powerful. But anyway, the mirror technique, I'll probably make a video about it in the near future. However, what you do is, this is for, you are able to detach. Some people can detach easily. However, there are times where they feel the majority of the time they feel the absence of their desire. They feel as if they failed. They haven't impressed upon the subconscious mind correctly. And therefore they feel that the absence more than their fair progress or signs or whatever. So I've explained this NLP technique where you make an image. This you have to take deep breaths with your eyes closed, get into an alpha state, and then in the corner you've got you see the current scenario. In the corner you have a tiny little image of the way you want it to be, and you make it flicker throughout several times, and that requires a bit of practice as well. But here what I'm going to suggest is that as you go about your day, as you are aware, you're completely aware of becoming a match or vibrational match to your desire. Not that you have it, not that you've got, certainty is something that you need to have first within. So you have that certainty, and while you go about your day, and there might be times where you might get this trigger where you feel like the progress is scanty and so on, but this is similar to the mirror technique. If you are, let's say you are in a neighborhood, you are in a place where you realize it's inevitable to realize more the absence, or that the condition that you want to be in a super affluent state or a city or part of the neighborhood, whatever, and you feel like you are in kind of a rundown, rough area and so on. So therefore, you feel the absence again. So you don't want to let that happen. Obviously, you're going to go through your visualizations prior to this, but during the day, during intermittent, certain intervals, you would, in the background, similar to the mirror work, if you're familiar with it, you know that you are seeing yourself, and in the background you see what you want to accomplish, what you've been shooting for, what you've been intentionalizing, and you've been trying to bring into your life. You see that in the background already there. Like now in this case I have trees. If you are wanting to see that affluent neighborhood, whatever, you would see different type of buildings, maybe your own mansion you would imagine there, or you would see maybe whatever represents affluence to you, maybe gold, maybe bunch of money around, whatever. Okay, as if money is just falling over, literally the windfall of money. And there are some people who use this technique, the mirror technique, at the same time, like in the background, if they are wanting to manifest their specific person, they are seeing their, maybe like they're the honeymoon, and they feel they're holding their hands of their specific person. And or maybe some people use the technique where they feel that while they're holding their hands, they also got a ring, which implies to their own self that they're committed, or they're engaged, they're going to get married, and so on and so forth. All these, one important distinguishing factor, or maybe for your own reference, one important thing to not to take too seriously, or maybe even go to somewhat lighter than the expected manifestation, or the desired result, is that all these are like signposts that you set up in your own subconscious mind, or either you've set them up or they are kind of built in because of your conditioning, your cultural conditioning, your growing up, upbringing, values, and your social values, and so on. Okay, all these things are like very, very subjective. So what works for you, you know best. One little caveat is that this technique, although it's super powerful and it requires hardly any effort, as you can, from time to time you just need to flicker those images in the background. And this is more about just bringing yourself to the state where you feel the presence, like vaguely in the background, not completely. So the caveat is that if you rely just on this technique, odds are pretty high that you would manifest faster if you have a standard visualization, and especially like before you go to bed, you visualize in a proper way, getting into an alpha state, taking deep breaths, and so on. And if you do the classical mirror work and then add this, then you will supercharge your manifestation. If you rely on this, obviously you can get results, but probably it'll take way longer than applying this mirror technique, visualization, and this background work. Okay, I hope it makes sense, and if you manage to get results, share it with people you care about, and like and subscribe, and talk to you soon. God bless.